Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today's date is February 5th, 2021. We're here at 9:30 a.m. for our work session. The first item we have on the work session today is, I believe we have a gentleman in the audience that wishes to address the court. He will state his comments. He's not on the agenda, so we won't comment on his comments, okay? So if you would stand and state your name for the record.
My name is Lionel Garcia, and I live at 1812 West 18th, here in Plainview, Texas.
Go ahead, Ron.
The reason that I'm here is, as we know, pretty soon the judge is going to assign somebody to finish out the term of the Commissioner of Precinct 2. But I don't know where everybody is about the history of District 2. And that's my reason that I wanted to come and make you all aware of the history of Precinct 2. And I'm going to go back to 1990. 1990, the census took place in 1990. Okay, in 1991, Commissioners' Court made adjustments to the precincts. Okay, but during that time, any time that you made any kind of changes to voting precincts, you had to submit the plan to the Justice Department in Washington, D.C., and they would approve it or disapprove it, send it back to you. If it was disapproved, of course, you'd have to come up with a new plan. Well, things kind of were happening pretty quick. See, the county submitted their plan in I believe it was October of 1991. But the county was getting ready for the elections of 1992. So in December, if you were going to run for a position or for an office, you had to do it between, I can't remember exactly the dates, but it was December, and the deadline was like January 5th, something like that, of 1992, to be able to get on the list for the primary that was in that was in April. So they did that, but they hadn't gotten a clearance from the changes that they made. So you couldn't have an election because the Justice Department hadn't approved the changes. So they went ahead and had the election, people signed up, had the primary in April in March of 1992. Well, the plaintiff in this case is Mr. Lopez. Filed the case on April 23rd of 1992, after the primary had taken place. And then, but on April the 10th, the Justice Department sent their answer to whether they were going to approve the changes that the county made or whether they were not. So in April of 92, the Attorney General imposed what they call an objection, which means they didn't approve the plan. So the question then was, are the elections of the primary, are they legal or not? That was the question. And but the purpose of the lawsuit at this point, because this went to the circuit judge, and this took place in Lubbock. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll give you a list of the stipulations that they had on the case. I just wanted you to know, kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. Okay, first of all, it says that the plaintiff is a Mexican-American resident of Hale County, Texas, and he has standing in the lawsuit, so he could do it. That Hale County, Texas is a jurisdiction covered by Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and therefore cannot enforce voting changes unless they've been pre-cleared by the United States Attorney General of the United States District Court in the District of Columbia. It has to be in Washington, D.C. That Hale County, Texas reapportionment plan adopted by the Commissioner's Court of Hale County, Texas on September 11, 1991, is a voting change requiring pre-clearance pursuant to the Voting Rights Act. That the Department of Justice imposed an objection on the Hale County tax reapportionment plan on April 10, 1992. Filed in the papers is a cause as agreed interim plan. In the new reapportionment plan that has been agreed to by the parties, the agreement calls for the submission of a new reapportionment plan to the United States Department of Justice for pre-clearance in accordance with the federal law. What they did, they made a deal. They said, you know what? Because what the plaintiff was asking was, you got to throw out the primary election. And that was going to throw everything into really an unknown if you did that. So they didn't want to do that. So they agreed. What we're going to do is come up with a new plan to create a minority-majority precinct in the county. Because this is what the Attorney General said when they sent the objection. He said, noting that under the plan that had been implemented, Hispanics would not constitute a majority of the registered voters in either precinct 1 or precinct 2. In other words, the original plan that the county submitted didn't have a minority-majority district or precinct in your case. And so what they said, what we'll agree to is we will make between precinct 1 and 2, we will create a minority-majority precinct. Okay? And the reason that the reason that they did is at that time, the schools, the cities, and the counties were all, a lot of them were being sued by different entities in Texas because under the Voting Rights Act, in the mid-'80s, somewhere there, they changed it to where they were no longer allowing a precinct, not a precinct, but elections at large. Because back then, everything was at large. There was no precinct. I mean, no Yeah, precincts or districts in the, or like in the cities and the schools. So, so what they did, they made an agreement. And that in 1994, because in 92, only 1 in 3, precinct 1 and 3 were up for election. And 2 and 4 would be in 1994. So they said, by the time that the election gets there, they will have redrawn the boundaries of District 2 and District 1 and submitted to the Justice Department, and for District 2 to become a majority-minority precinct. And that's what they did. So, there was an agreement from the two parties, plus the clearance when they got it from the Justice Department, they okayed it. So, if I'm asking that the appointment of the person that's going to finish out the term of Mario, the 2 years that he had left, I would ask the judge, and I understand he has sole authority to put whoever he deems the right person for that job. But for the Justice Department to approve this thing, they wanted the Hispanic people to at least have a precinct where they could possibly elect a Hispanic commissioner and have their voice heard on the county court. So what I wanted to do was explain to you a little bit about why we're I'm doing this, because I served on that same committee for the schools back in '91. We drew up the lines that are currently used today, and that's been almost 30-some odd years ago. So the only thing that I'm asking is for the judge to consider, assigning that position to a Hispanic person that if one applied to serve out the term of Mario. And with that, thank you.
All right, thank you, Lonnie. All right, our agenda this morning, the first item we have is the auditor's report.
Good morning. I will have some budget amendments on Monday to recognize revenue and expense.
Second item, any questions on Melinda? Okay. Second item will be our treasurer's report.
I don't have anything today, Judge.
Okay. All right, then that falls to my line items, or my item on the agenda. We did, the first item I have, we did receive a additional page to the Petersburg Fire Department report, and it was their financial report for the year 2020. And so they had a total revenue of $250. No, I'm sorry. That's for December. Let's see. Okay. They had a total revenue of $14,100 and total expenses of $36,009.76 for a total of a negative $21,909.76. And so hearing that report, then I'll ask y'all to finish approving that report. We actually approved the report last time, and I think we authorized their stipend last time. So this is just a sort of a housekeeping item to make sure that the statement or report that they sent us was complete. Okay, the next item is the quarterly report from the UMC. For the fourth quarter, they had a total response of 20, 16 inside the designated area, 6 outside the designated area. And so for 2020, they had a total of 59 responses, 31 within the designated area and 28 without the designated area. So I'll come forward and ask you to approve that on Monday. The constable, one, Tommy Baker, is working on a grant for a vehicle, and he'll need a resolution passed and for y'all to authorize me to sign it. If we want to, I'll go ahead and just read it this morning. That way I'll have that out of the way. Is that?
That's great, Judge.
Okay. Well, everybody looked at Jim, but maybe.
They're open, I'll say no.
No, actually, I can read this one. So, okay, the resolution, whereas the Hale County Commissioners Court finds it's in the best interest of the citizens of Hale County that the Hale County Constable 1 office received the criminal justice grant FY 2022, whereas the Hale County Commissioners Court agrees to provide applicable matching funds for the said project as required by the Office of the Governor, whereas the Hale County Commissioners Court agrees that in the event of loss or misuse of the grant, the Hale County Commissioners Court assures that the funds will be returned to the Criminal Justice Grant Program FY 2022 in full, whereas the Hale County Commissioner Court designates Judge David Mull, Hale County Judge, as the grantee's authorized official. The authorized official is given the power to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate the grant on behalf of the applicant agency. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Hale County Commissioners Court approves the submission of the grant application for Constable 1 office and the purchase of a new patrol vehicle. And so, Monday, I won't have to read that again, and you'll know what it says, and we can vote on whether you want to pursue that grant, and if you do, allow me to sign that resolution, and that way Tommy can proceed with trying to get this grant. And then the next item I have is the approval of sale property at 1614 West 18th in Plainview. Let's see, they had a bid of, $1,250 for that property, and there's y'all got to attach the legal description and all that. So I would ask, or I'll ask that the court approve the selling of that property, and I guess authorize me to sign off so that it can go through the steps that it needs to go through. And then item D, Carmen from the Herald has submitted for a Outlook 2021 community section. That's something we've done the last few years in the newspaper, and so she's asking that we continue to do that. It's a full page ad in color for a price of $2,250. That's the same price as it was last year. They give a free editorial option. Any of y'all that want to write anything are welcome to do it, and I'll submit it. What I have done is, the last couple of years, I have just submitted the newsletter or the steps that TAC, or the services that TAC provides and what counties do for people. And so I'll probably just leave that in there. It's good information. It educates people if they need to know or want to know what all the county offices do. And so we'll look at voting on that. And that concludes today's agenda. So If you want to look real quick at Monday's agenda, let's see. I think everything that I covered is here. The sheriff will be here for personnel in Metallics, which is the automated fingerprint machine. They have a service agreement renewal. We'll vote on the paper deal. And then we have Commissioner Precinct 1.
Yeah, I'm fixing to trade motor graders with Yellow House, John Deere. I'm trading for a new John Deere 77G. The cost on it is $263,000. I'm trading in a 2016 John Deere 770G. They're giving me $168,000. The buyback is $130,000, so all I will be paying at the end is $95,000.
All right. Okay, so
That's it.
we'll have that on Monday. And I guess the sheriff really needs help because we'll see a list of it twice. The sheriff needs personnel, so. Does anyone have any comments on the agenda or items from this morning? If not, then we'll stand adjourned at, let's see, 9:52 a.m. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got all these signed, Melissa.